Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I get a lot of questions about how to paint the fur on a white dog or cat using watercolors. It's actually not as hard as you might imagine. In this video, I'm sharing 5 tips that will hopefully help you feel more confident when painting white animals in watercolor. Number 1, use a clear, well-lit reference photo. Having a good reference image is so important, particularly for a white animal. I find that natural or outdoor light works the best for a painting. Even strong shadows can be okay. You can pull out some beautiful colors from the shadows on a white animal. What you want to avoid are pictures that are poor quality or pixelated, have an unnatural filter applied, like you pulled it from Instagram, or are so overexposed that you can't see any detail in the colors and fur. Number 2, use lots of color. This might seem contrary to what we understand as painting white, but it's important to realize that you will rarely paint something using actual pure white. Saving the brightest white of the paper should be reserved only for your most brilliant highlights. And if you squint at your reference photo or subject, you will usually see only a few bright spots that qualify as pure white. Most of the time, white is actually quite colorful. Another misconception with painting white animals is that the shadows should be a neutral gray. But if you take a closer look at your reference photo, chances are you'll see a wide range of warm and cool tones. Number 3, decide on your background. Composition matters all the time, but especially when you're painting something where a white subject is the most important part of the painting. How you approach the whites in your painting depends a lot on your background. If your background is dark, you can really play with the edges of your white subject more. You can use wet and wet techniques to create soft blending and fuzzy fur texture. For more about how to do this technique, by the way, check out this video. Having a dark background also changes the focus of the painting. We are visually drawn to the strongest point of contrast in any painting, so deciding to do a dark background like this can make for an interesting mix of both an emotional focal point, which is the animal, and a compositional focal point, where you have strong light and dark shapes. Number 4. Build the form gradually by observing subtle values and colors. The key word here is subtle. When you do a white animal against a white background, such as this American Bulldog puppy, you have to paint enough color and contrast within the white fur to allow it to stand out without going too dark or colorful. For this painting, I painted multiple layers of very light, watery, burnt sienna, and indigo. Think more tinted washes rather than pigment mixes. I created a soft combination of cool and warm tones within the fur. Where I saw more shadows in the reference photo, I made these dark enough so that we could get a strong sense of the puppy's shape and form. The shadow under the head and in the ears really helps the puppy look three-dimensional. So be sure to observe interesting details like fur texture and paint them gently and lightly, almost as if you were using a pencil instead of a paintbrush. Number 5, go dark with the eyes and nose. Unless you're painting an albino animal, most white animals have dark eyes and noses. Don't be afraid to go dark here. Adding these important dark details will make all the difference when it comes to creating convincing white fur. If you paint the white fur with lots of nice subtle blues, for example, but don't add anything dark in contrast, it might just end up looking like a blue animal. Those dark details give us a point of reference so that our brains can read those light blues as white. These tips don't just apply to animals. The more you paint, the more you'll see just how colorful white subjects really are. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about painting white in watercolor. Check out these other videos on painting realistic animals in watercolor, and I'll see you there.